What's going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and today we're going to make mixed media collages.
Dreadlabs.
Alright, so a couple of months ago I did two videos, how to make collages in Photoshop and how to do mixed media and why mixed media is awesome. And basically I got a lot of questions from people asking me if I could do mixed media collages. So in today's video I'm going to explain a little bit of my process on how I make these mixed media collages, and I'm going to give you some tips on where to find material and composition and stuff like that. So before we start the video, I just wanted to let you know that you can get all of the project files from all of my digital tutorials, such as Photoshop tutorials, Illustrator tutorials and more, if you become a patron of mine. The link is down in the description if you want to check it out, or stick around until the end of the video to learn more. Alright, without any further ado, let's get into the video. So I usually go to thrift stores and see if there's any magazines or books in the encyclopedia sections. Basically I just make sure to browse the books first and see if there's any interesting images or photos in it. For this video I found a couple of dope magazines, some sort of portfolio book from the early 2000s, some encyclopedias, and a National Geographic magazine from the 80s. If you don't want to ruin some of the books you're using, you can also just make a photocopy. I did this for the National Geographic magazine. I copied it and printed it on mixed media paper, which is a little bit thicker than your average printing paper. Besides your material, you'll also need an X-Acto knife, a pair of scissors, some glue, and a cutting mat. So before I actually start, I usually sort some of the books together. For example, for my first collage, I combined the Y2K portfolio book together with the National Geographic magazine, since it had some interesting retro computer graphics in it. I did the same for the fashion magazines and for the nature encyclopedias. Next, it's time to browse the books more in depth and see if there's any content that stands out to you. For me, this particular page looked really cool for a background. I thought it would be cool to combine it with some of these computer graphics. On top of that, I also found an X-ray that I wanted to use for this one. For my second collage, I found these astronauts and a nice looking retro gas station. So before you start cutting, always make sure that you have a cutting mat and there's nothing significant on the other page that you might want to cut out later. If you're good to go, start cutting, but be careful with your knife though. Something to note here is that I really like the raw paper edges when you rip paper, so for the X-ray scan I actually ripped it out instead of cutting it, as there's not really a clear edge anyway. So after cutting parts out that you like, it's time to do some compositing. For me this is a very subjective thing, and my compositions might not look good to you, or the other way around. The more you do this, the more you'll get into the feeling though. So for the first collage I think I could use something more, so I decided to cut out letters to form the word analyze. And now that I'm writing the script I realized that I spelled it wrong. Oops. Once you have a nice composition, start gluing. With some crayons I added the mind, so that it says analyze the mind. And that's what I like about mixed media. You can just add things when you feel like it and you don't need to stick to one form of art. For the second collage I didn't really have enough time left to record, but I wanted to place the astronauts I found on a cool looking gas station picture. I was looking for pictures of space, so I could remove the background from the gas station and place it behind it, but unfortunately I couldn't find any, so I used a picture of a highway. Of course, this is just for the video, so if I was just doing this for myself, I would have gone back to the thrift store until I found a cool space picture. Hopefully next time there will be some NASA books. So a tip for if you have to do very accurate cutting is keep as little space between your knife and the finger that you're using to hold the picture in place. This minimizes the risk of the paper getting torn, because if your knife isn't sharp enough, it might start pulling the paper instead of cutting it. So these are the end results. Alright, so there you have it, a couple of tips on mixed media collages. I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a ton of fun creating this video for you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the description. And before we end of the video, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons. Thanks to all of my patrons, I'm actually able to do Dreadlabs full time, make weekly tutorials and videos for you guys, and giving you Dreadlabs content for free every week. So as a patron, you'll get access to all of the project files from all of my tutorials, a 15% discount in my asset web store, as well as an exclusive Discord role in the Dreadlabs Discord community. If you go one tier up, you'll also get access to exclusive video tutorials, as well as even more project files. So if this is something you're interested in, there's a link down in the description. And if you don't have the budget to support Dreadlabs, of course, that's completely fine. Leaving a like, subscribe and a comment if you haven't already also does a lot. So with all of that being said, this was Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out. I hope you have a ton of fun making mixed media collages, and hopefully see you guys in the next video.